Dear students, today's topic that is a atmospheric components of ecosystem. From where I am giving this lecture, that is a J.A.T Art Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon Dist-Nashik. I am Dr. D.D. Sawant, Department of Geography. Today's topic that is a atmospheric components. So the atmosphere is a significant component of the biospheric ecosystem because it provides all the gases necessary for the sustenance of all life forms in the biosphere. It also filters the incoming solar radiations and thus prevents the ultraviolet solar radiations waves to reach the Earth's surface and hence protects the Earth's surface from becoming too hot. Thus, it is a imperative to study the composition and structure of the atmosphere and the elements of weather and climate. As the earth is divided into four components that are all interact together, as number one, which is the atmosphere, which is related to the air. Second one, that is a hydrosphere, which is known as a water. Geosphere, which is known as a rock, soil and sediment. And number four, that is a biosphere, which belongs to the living things. As forces which affect the earth crust, those are endogenic forces and exogenetic forces. What endogenetic forces those are? Those are diastrophic forces, and second one, that is a sudden force. Diastrophic force are included in two types. Those are epirogenetic forces and second one, that is a orogenetic forces. If you see the sudden forces which are acting part in the earth's surface, those are a volcanic eruption and second one, that is a earthquake. What epirogenetic forces which act as a number one, which is a upward movement, as in the earth's surface the movements which are occurring, those are upward, and second one, that is a downward movement. Upward movement which is called as a emergence and downward movement which is called as a submergence. As a orogenetic forces, those are in two ways. Those are tensional forces and second one, that is a compressional forces. What tensional forces are? Those are crustal fractures and compressional forces are which is called as a crustal bending, which are acting as a crustal fractures are as a cracking in motion in position and faulting faults which are seen, and crustal bending which is called as a warping, and second one, that is a folding as folds which are seen. As in the earth's surface, on the earth's surface you will see that somewhere a folds are found and somewhere are faults. As warping, if you will see the up warping and down warping, such type of uh, effects which are seen in endogenetic earth crust. So as a if you will see the atmosphere is a gaseous, in this diagram the combination of the gases in the atmosphere, for example from the lower atmosphere to the upper atmosphere, those are shown. So the hydrosphere which is in the center means the water which is in the downward portion. Geosphere is shown, biosphere is shown, and atmosphere is shown. One by one, as an atmosphere, if you see that the atmosphere is a gaseous envelope which surrounds the earth from all sides and is attached to the earth's surface by gravitational force. The height of the atmosphere is estimated between 16 to 29,000 kilometers from the sea level. It is estimated that 97% of the effective atmosphere is up to the height of 29 kilometers. The atmosphere is composed of number one, that is gases, water vapor, and third one, that is a particulates. What those particulates are means the gases. Those are nitrogen. Nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere near about 78%. Oxygen which is present, it is 21%, which are the major gases which constitute 99% of the total gaseous composition of the atmosphere. The remaining 1% is represented by carbon dioxide, which is a 0.03%, which is found in the atmosphere. Hydro, Hydrogen is there, neon is there, helium is there, argon is there, xenon is there, ozone, etc. Such type of gases which are found in the atmosphere. As we discuss on the water vapor, it contains in the atmosphere ranges between 0 to 5% by volume. The atmospheric vapor is received through the evaporation of moisture and water from the water bodies, vegetation, and soil covers of the lithosphere and seas and oceans. Vapor is in the atmosphere, it decreases from the equator towards the poles, and the strains of distributional pattern of atmospheric vapor affects vegetation through temperature is also significant factor which controls vegetation. So the moisture contained in the atmosphere is responsible for the creation of several forms of condensation and precipitations. For example, what precipitation is? Clouds are there, fogs are there, frost, rainfall, dew, ice, hailstorm, snowfall, etc. Vapor is transparent for incoming short wave solar radiations so that solar rays reach the ground surface without much obstacles, but vapor is less transparent for outgoing terrestrial long wave radiations and therefore it helps in hitting the earth's surface and the lower portion of the atmosphere. The solid particles present in the atmosphere includes dust particles, salt particles. These particulates help in the scattering of solar radiations, which results in the appearance of blue color of the sky, charming color during sunrise and sunset. Salt particles become hydroscopic nuclei and thus help in the formation of drops, clouds, and various forms of condensation and precipitation. Now we will come to the next slide, that is a there are definite layers having varying characteristics of temperatures and combinations of gases in the atmosphere. For example, from the lower atmosphere to the upper atmosphere. Number one, which is a troposphere. Second one, that is a stratosphere. Third one, that is a mesosphere. Fourth one is a ionosphere. And last, fifth one, that is a exosphere. If we see that the lower most layer of the atmosphere, which is near to the ground surface, is known as troposphere and is the most important layer because almost all of the weather events For example, fog, cloud, dew, frost, hailstorm, storms, cloud, thunder, lightning, etc., which are seen in this layer, occurs in this layer, which we have seen. Thus, the troposphere is of almost significance for all life forms, including man, because these are concentrated in the lowermost portion of the atmosphere. If you see the temperature, it decreases with increasing height at the average rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per 1000 meter. Means that it is 1 kilometer, which is called as a normal lapse rate. The height of troposphere changes from equator towards the pole, means it decreases, and from one season of a year to the other season, increasing during summer while it decreasing during winter. The average height of the troposphere is about 16 km over the equator and 6 km over the pole. The upper limit of the troposphere is called as a tropopause. Second one, that is a stratosphere. So the below lowermost layer, that was a troposphere. Second layer, if you see that a stratosphere layer, there is contrasting opinion about the height of the stratosphere. The average height over the middle latitudes has been determined to be 25 to 30 km, whereas it is estimated to be 80 km by others. On an average, if you see, the upper limit of the stratosphere is taken to be 50 km. A few scientists, for example, H.J. Critchfield, are of the view that there is no change in temperature with increasing height in the stratosphere, while others, for example, in Stroller, held that there is gradual rise in temperature and there is 0 degree Celsius or 32 degree Fahrenheit temperature at the height of 50 km. The upper limit of the stratosphere, which is known as a stratopause. The lower layer of stratosphere is very important for all life forms in the biosphere because there is concentration of ozone between the height of 15 to 30 km. Hence, if you see, though ozone have been discovered up to the height of 80 km. So, ozone acts as a protective cover for the biological communities in the biosphere because it absorbs almost all of the ultraviolet rays of solar radiations and thus protects the Earth's surface from becoming too hot. Recently, the researchers have shown that there is gradual depletion of ozone gas in the atmosphere, mostly due to human activities. So, the depletion of ozone, its impacts on biological communities and measures to replenish ozone will be discussed in the next. That is a third atmospheric layer, that is a mesosphere. It extends between 50 km to 80 km and temperature again decreases with increasing height. At the upper limit of mesosphere, means up to the 80 km, temperature becomes minus 80 degrees Celsius. This limit is called as mesopause. Next one, that is number fourth, is a thermosphere. The part of the atmosphere beyond mesopause is known as the thermosphere, wherein temperature increases rapidly with increasing height. Thermosphere is further divided into two layers. Number one, that is a ionosphere, which extends up from 80 km to 640 km. There are a number of ionic layers known as D layers, E layer, F1 layer, F2 layer, etc. These layers reflect the signals received from the ground back to the earth surface, and therefore these are these are very significant for radio communication. Yeah, for example, radio, television, etc. Now the B, that is a exosphere, which represents the uppermost layer of the atmosphere. We know very little about the atmosphere extending beyond 640 km height from the earth's surface. So the sun is a great engine that derives winds on the earth's surface, ocean currents, exogenetic or denudation processes, and sustain lives in the biosphere. Hydrosphere, as a this concept, yeah, this is a slide, all water at on near the earth surface. So all of you are knowing that 71% of the water which is present on the earth surface, and 29% of the land which is present, and that is a terrestrial land. So the oceanic water of hydrospheric spheres that we have seen. So the total surface area of the globe is about 510 million square kilometers, out of which hydrosphere accounts for about 361 million square kilometers. On the basis of size and location, the hydrosphere is divided into oceans, seas, small enclosed seas, and bays. The bottom configuration of the ocean consists of four components. Number one, for example, continental shelves are there, continental slope. After that, a continental shelves are there, and last one, that is deep sea plains. So all this, which covers 75.9% of the total surface area of the ocean bottom. Oceanic deeps are the deepest part of the ocean bottoms and accounts for 7.0% of the total surface area of the ocean bottoms. So the water bodies, mainly oceanic areas, are the source areas of the water vapor, which provides water solution for the biological communities in the biosphere. So here, as a vapor, liquid, water, ice, and frozen in permafrost, 97% of the earth water is found in the ocean, which covers 71% of the earth's surface. As a geosphere, as a on this lithosphere, layers of the soil, rocks, and sediments at the earth's surface, which are seen on the core of the earth's surface, that hot molten material in the inner side, and mostly the iron which is seen. Mantle, it this is the rock which is in middle layer, made of silicon, iron, oxygen, and magnesium. And third one, that is crust, outermost layer of this lithosphere land, contains all non-renewable fossil fuels and minerals, as well as renewable soil, nutrients, and organisms, as shown in this diagram. Now the biosphere, this is the part of the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere, where all living components are found. As ecology, while studying this interaction between the organisms and their environment, the interrelation of these two abiotic and biotic components which are seen, and hence the solar radiations, which are insolation of the solar, which is coming on this earth surface, means on this planet, and hence the circulation of all these components which are being uh, running, this is the cycle which is being shown. Energy in ecosystem, if you will see that energy ecosystems are driven by the interaction between organisms. So the flow of high quality energy, sun is one of the reactor. Most energy is absorbed or reflected back into the space by the atmosphere, goes in generating winds, which is of the 1%. Plants, algae, and bacteria used to produce nutrients as a 0.1%. A natural greenhouse effect warms the earth to sustain life. So, this is the cycling of nutrients which is seen. As a nutrients driven by energy flows pass into various components of biotic communities through the process known as biogeochemical cycles. In a generalized from the biogeochemical cycles includes the uptake of nutrients or inorganic elements by the plants through their roots in solution from the soils where these inorganic elements derived from sedimentary phase are stored, and hence the nutrients are transported to various trophic levels through energy flow, and hence this is the process which is being seen. And hence the ecosystem, if you will see that interaction happens between organisms, population, and communities. It includes both biotic and abiotic components, and all organisms organized into trophic level depending on the source of food or nutrients. So here the quaternary consumers which are shown, tertiary consumers are there, secondary consumers are there, primary consumers are there, and primary producers are also there. So as a phytoplanktons are shown, zooplanktons are shown, carnivorous plants which are shown, and on these plants grasshopper, herbivorous, which is one of the animal which is shown, carnivorous as a rat is shown, uh, snake is shown, yeah, eagle is shown. So like this way, this is the uh, circulatory interaction happens between the organisms and communities. Thank you very much.